The Canadian Rockies boast one of the most scenic highways in the world, with jagged mountains, numerous waterfalls, more glaciers than you can count, and vast sweeping valleys featuring amazing panoramic viewpoints. This is the Icefields Parkway in Jasper National Park, from the Columbia Icefields to the town of Jasper, with many fabulous easy access sites to enjoy. The Icefields Parkway, Highway 93, spans all the way from Lake Louise to the town of Jasper. It passes through both Banff and Jasper National Parks, with the boundary being a three-way continental divide at the Columbia Icefields. Following in northern direction, this video showcases sites in Jasper National Park. Some are quick stops, others will take more time to enjoy. My previous video showcased parkway sites in Banff National Park, which you could play at the end of this video. From beautiful Lake Louise and Moraine Lake on the doorsteps of the parkway, we visited numerous sites up the valley, following alongside three different rivers originating from nearby glaciers. We ended at the start of the Columbia Icefields, where we now continue with their geographical significance. The Columbia Icefield is the largest icefield in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, resting on a high plateau. It was formed around 200,000 years ago during the Ice Age and covers an area about 325 square kilometers and has a snow dome about 100 to 360 meters thick. It has 12 of the highest mountains in the Canadian Rockies and feeds 6 major glaciers. What is unique is it also sits on a triple continental divide. The primary divide, also being the provincial border between British Columbia and Alberta, has water on the BC side flowing west to the Pacific Ocean. The Alberta side has another watershed divide, which is the Sunwapta Pass, and it is also the boundary between Banff and Jasper National Parks. So the Columbia Icefield originates rivers which flow to 3 oceans, the Pacific, the Arctic, and the Atlantic. The Columbia and Athabasca glaciers originate rivers which flow north to the Arctic via the Mackenzie River. The Saskatchewan and Castlegar glaciers originate rivers which flow east to the Atlantic via the Hudson Bay. And on the west side of the icefield, it spans rivers which feed the Columbia River flowing to the Pacific. From the highway using a zoom lens, I captured this ridge showing the eastern edge of the massive snow dome, with Dome Glacier down below. The Athabasca Glacier is the most visited glacier on the North American continent due to its easy access from the highway. Its meltwater forms the Sunwapta River with a small Sunwapta Lake near the base of the glacier. The glacier peaked in size around 1800 AD near the end of the Little Ice Age, and it's been receding ever since. It used to be close to the highway, and the trail has markers along the way showing where it used to be. Over the last 125 years, it has shrunk to about half its size. It is recommended that walking on the glacier should always be with a guide, as people have fallen into deep crevices. In 1990, a 10-year-old boy from Calgary fell into a crevice and died from hypothermia while on the glacier with his father. In 2018, a man from Calgary survived a 30-meter fall into a crevice while snowshoeing with a friend without ropes or safety harnesses. Sometimes a snowdrift crosses a crevice, forming what looks like a safe snow bridge, but can be hazardous when someone walks over it. Across the highway from the glacier is the Icefield Center, which offers bus rides onto the glacier and tours to the Skywalk, which we will see soon. On July 18th of 2020, a week after this video was taken, one of the buses rolled down an embankment with 27 people on board, killing 3 and injuring many more. Following a lengthy investigation, the company installed seat belts and changes to driver training and road maintenance. In 2004, we joined a bus tour on the glacier and took these pictures. Visiting the Skywalk can only be enjoyed by a bus tour starting from the Icefield Center, which we saw previously. Only tour buses are allowed to stop here. The Skywalk opened in May of 2014 with an extended glass floor featuring a 280-meter drop, or about 918 feet. We could also see the edge of the Icefield snow dome from here too. Imagine that being about 100 meters thick. Tangle Creek Falls is only about 1 kilometer north of the Skywalk, and drivers come upon it quickly. The parking lot is on the other side of the road from the falls, so caution is needed as people are crossing the highway. The falls are impressive, and it's worth a stop. A very short 2 kilometers further north of the falls is the Stutfield Glacier viewpoint. Again, I use a zoom to get a closer view of the glacier, and also the last bit of Columbia Icefield snow dome that we will see from the highway. Continuing north, we leave the ice fields with a gradual descent into the Sunwapta River Valley. Along the Sunwapta River, we come to this unmarked viewpoint, 1.6 kilometers north of the Beauty Creek Wilderness Hostel. It has fabulous views of the river valley, with signs identifying some of the mountain peaks. 30 kilometers north of the viewpoint, we come to the Sunwapta Falls, and we are now 55 kilometers south of the town of Jasper. The falls have a drop of approximately 18 meters, and they're particularly impressive in the late spring and early summer when the snowmelt runoff is high. This is the last time we see the Sunwapta River on the parkway, as it continues west to where it feeds into the Athabasca River. Continuing north, the river appearing alongside the highway is now the Athabasca River, with the Sunwapta River already fed into it. This is the first time we see the Athabasca River, since it originated on the north side of the Columbia Icefields, hiding behind a ridge not visible from the highway. It continues north through the town of Jasper. There are 3 major sites which I'll provide highlights to here, since I already showcased them on my Sites Near Jasper video, being so close to town. I provide links to my other Jasper videos in the description below. The Sunwapta Falls are impressive, but the Athabasca Falls are more stunning, as the large Athabasca River thunders down a gorge visible from multiple paths and bridges. Be sure to follow the trail to where the river exits the gorge, and it follows calmly towards Jasper. I also have a separate video on these falls. Mount Edith Cavell is accessed by a secondary highway called 93A. After a long, windy road climbing to a higher elevation, we find a parking lot with a trailhead to fabulous views. The path of the Glacier Trail ends with a vantage point across from Mount Edith Cavell. We see Angel Glacier up on the mountain and ice-rimmed Cavell Pond below. On my Sights Near Jasper video, I tell a story about the fall of Ghost Glacier. Our last site on the parkway, just a short 8 kilometers from town, is the Jasper Skytram. At the top is a trail continuing up the mountain featuring 360-degree views. I have a separate Skytram video showing views on a beautiful fall day and also after an unexpected snowfall in August. If you enjoy my videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new releases. It's free, and sharing with your friends is much appreciated.